Welcome back to Football with Farhan and Moj, brought to you by Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance and the West Coast Auto Group. And after this next segment, we'll probably add a hair endorsement or some sort of a shampoo deal as Luke Willson, our good friend, joins us from Seattle. Luke, thanks for doing this.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
How's retirement treating you?
I was going to say, you talk about extremes. Sorry, Farhan. You talk about extremes. You go from this to look at that, man. Just give me like 1/15 of that. I'll be happy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I actually cut about 4 to 5 inches off it about a month ago. So it's this is a haircut for me right here, Moj.
Oh man, you're killing me, Luke. You're killing me.
How's retirement treating you, my man?
It's been good, Farhan. To be honest, I feel like I'm in the honeymoon phase right now. Took a trip down to Vegas, let loose a little bit. Got to head back home. I hadn't been home in 2 years, so heading back to see everybody in Ontario was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. And then, kind of in and out of Seattle. So I've been a bit nomadic, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, we're happy to have you on with us. I know I've seen you on TSN a few times, so that's great as well. But I want to ask you about the games this week, and particularly Brady, Belichick, Patriots, Bucks. Just what was your takeaway, not just necessarily from the game, but the entire event and the lead up?
Yeah, you know what? I was not that surprised. I know that everybody thought, hey, Tom Brady's going to come out here, throw for 10 million yards. And don't get me wrong, this is no shade at Tom Brady whatsoever, because in my opinion, he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. But, my 6th year in the league when I was playing for Detroit, we did not have a great year, but we did actually beat New England at home that year. Matt Patricia was our head coach. And going into that game, Matt Patricia had all these little nuances about Tom Brady and what he liked, what he didn't like, where he wanted guys positioned, even if he wasn't making sacks, like, hey, we need to make him feel pressure from here. These are some reads he doesn't like making, et cetera, et cetera. And I always say kind of in this league that it's a lot tougher to move the ball offensively than it is, to stop teams defensively. Obviously, if you have a well-oiled offense, et cetera, et cetera. But, all things being equal, and I know that, some people might disagree, but I think it's a little tougher to go down and score touchdowns than it is, to get off the field in 3 plays. And, so that from that standpoint and kind of seeing how Matt Patricia was able to kind of bottle up Brady to a degree when he was playing for New England. And then the fact that, Gronk, who's been a big part of that offense this year, was out. I think, the Patriots did a great job defensively. And I mean, obviously we all saw what happened with the field goal at the end, but just a great football game. 2 teams that really knew each other well, battling hard, and came down to the last play.
Arizona knocks off the Rams 37-20, Luke. I mean, you're familiar with both teams in the NFC West. Not surprising necessarily that Arizona beat them, but the fact they hung 37 on the Rams defense. You've gone up against that Rams defense. How surprised were you to see Arizona put that number up?
Yeah, I was very surprised. And I think that's one thing that's been very disappointing if you're a Rams fan this year is that, some people had question marks. How would, Matt Stafford assimilate into the Sean McVay offense and how all that would play out? And I think that, most football analysts, including myself, think that it's going to continue to play out very, very well for the Rams. But the idea of why everybody thought this team was going to be such a powerhouse, which I still think they are, was that they have this, very stout defense that has a ton of great players and can really, attack you in a lot of different ways defensively. So they have really been average all year, and then obviously very subpar last weekend. It's a bit surprising, but I do think that team defensively has so many players that, maybe they'll have a players only meeting this week. I know they got the big Thursday nighter against my old squad. And I think the defense will be fine, but it was very shocking to see, even this kind of whole way, they haven't really been the great defense that they're capable of being.
When you look at that division, people argue that it is the toughest division right now in the National Football League. You can make a case, I guess, for the AFC West as well. But in your mind, are the Rams still the front runner in that division?
Yeah, I think so. And again, I'm a bit biased, but having the privilege of playing one season with Matt Stafford, no matter what the score of the game is, when you have a quarterback with that kind of ability, he'll be able to, keep you always close. So for me, if I were to say, who the team to beat is, it still would be the Rams this year. But that being said, the Seahawks have been very inconsistent this year. And they came with a big division win in San Fran last Sunday. And, they're at home this Thursday against the Rams. If they can pull this one off, I think there's a case to be said that we're maybe overlooking Seattle a little bit.
Wow, never thought I'd hear that from you. One other team I want to ask you about is Kansas City. I mean, they showed so much in the last game offensively, and really when they don't turn the ball over, this is who they are. They're virtually unstoppable offensively. But with that defense playing the way it is, can this team be a legitimate Super Bowl contender? Can Mahomes outscore his defense?
It's, Farhan, it's always a tough one because it's kind of one of those things when you play ball like that, it works until it doesn't. I know that's an idiotic saying, but it's like you could sit there and feel great about, hey, our offense is putting up crazy yards and crazy points every week, and our defense is giving it up, but like we'll be able to make up for it. And, we've already kind of seen with them, like you're able to make up for it until you're not. And there's going to be games where it's like, one play when you have to score 35 plus points every game, you might play well offensively and you have an untimely turnover, a bad penalty. You get stopped at the wrong time. You run out of time. Let's say you face a team that's really heavy on ball control. You're just kind of opening yourself up to a lot of different factors and ways you can lose. So, so I think Kansas City can light up the scoreboard and continue to win games with a defense giving up points. Yes. But do I think that they're a legitimate contender until they figure at least something out on the other side of the ball? No. I think it'll be very tough for them to sustain that kind of winning.
Hey, Luke, let me throw this one to you. Of everything that you've seen in the National Football League, whether it's a team, whether it's a player, whether it's schemes, X's and O's, what has surprised you the most? What shocked you?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'd say the Dallas Cowboys would be up there, and the Las Vegas Raiders would be the two teams. Las Vegas I know they just came up a loss, but they've had some good wins. And that's kind of been a team the last few years. They've been sitting at the 9-7 mark. I'm not sure if there's a 10-6 season there, maybe an 8-8, where it's been like they've, won some games and then really not blown, but just never really seemed to consistently win big games. And this season, I mean, they're 3-1, tough one last Sunday, but that's a team. And the way Derek Carr has been able to, sling the pill has been very impressive. And then going back to Dallas, kind of same thing there. I just think there's so many distractions in Dallas. It's probably similar to playing for the Yankees in baseball or I'm trying to think basketball, maybe the Lakers. And, a lot of times you think of the Lakers, think of the Yankees, like they have these wild, perennial superstars, where Dallas, has some Pro Bowlers, but there's really not a guy on that team that is a, locked in Hall of Famer right now. And they're still seeming to play well and maybe kind of put all the distractions aside. And I was not expecting them to kind of come out and win a bunch of games this year, but it looks like they're going to be all right.
Luke, thanks so much for doing this. My son Luke says hi. As you know, Luke kind of follows in the footsteps of this Luke with the hair.
Yeah, looks good.
It's not that long quite yet.
Love
I'm
it.
nervous that it's going to go that way.
It'll get there.
Love it. Tell them I said hello.
Will do. Thanks for doing this, pal.
Thanks, Luke.
All right. See you guys.
All right, that is Luke Willson, current TSN analyst, former Seattle Seahawks tight end, and always fun having him on. I'm sure we'll do that again soon.